This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and this is an update, I guess, of the channel, first of the season of season 15 of the Kal Kat show over there on 2023. The New Year's special, all right, and then there was some other stuff that was put out, and partly I'm testing the program to see whether it works. So we're here, and the earlier thing with the Raxler thing, with the alleged Kickstarter, it isn't a Kickstarter, just so you know. He was just kidding. There's no money changing hands. There can't be. The On Location Cat show and the Weird Kitty 07 show, the Kal Kat reviews basically show, channel 2, and the Chimera one as well, the Chimera channel. All those are not monetized. We don't make any money on them because they're mostly parodies and reviews. I feel like doing movie reviews. Why would you monetize a movie review for your channel of something that you're going to look at someone else's stuff and do a review of it? That doesn't make any sense. So we don't monetize the movie reviews. And we don't monetize the fan films either, because it's someone else's material. It's either Hasbro or Paramount or something. And with Star Trek, CBS Paramount, we don't do that, or it's Marvel or something. I haven't really done any Marvel parodies, though. I mean, I have some of the Marvel action figures, but I don't think we're going to ever do something like that. I think that would just be odd. We should be in production on the Robotech stuff on the other channel shortly. And I was going over all 14 seasons of the show up to the end here, and Fanime and the New Year's thing being the last thing, and what really, when you get to the end, they were all the highest def they would be anyway. So if you see them, well, you've seen them online there. Weird Kitty 07 took over for most of the reviews and updates, so this is kind of an update of the updates, I guess. You're not going to see the MP4 versions of them because we can't sell them, so we're just archiving the stuff we have done. We can't sell it. So you're not going to have a Blu-ray set of Kal Kat show. It's not going to happen. If they do change YouTube dramatically in some way and demonetize everybody, then everybody's leaving. But they're not going to do that. That's not likely to happen. There was a legal guy was complaining about that. If they do that, they will lose literally 2/3 of their fan base completely. They did that to the internet. They would just, everybody next time around in 2024, everybody would vote Democrat. And just completely, there would be a blue wave, and that would be done. Because put up with that, there would be a 1 million person march on Washington for internet rights. Because this is not going to happen. Take away their internet. Oh my God, no. So it would mess. Yeah. Won't say any other buzzwords there because YouTube might freak out. Anyway, going about the On Location things, the story, what On Location Cat does. On Location Cat channel has over 325 videos. I think it's not as big. It was the original one. Technically, the Kal Kat show ended after 7 seasons in 2015. It's over in 2015. So, with the New Year's special being the finale, but technically the Disneyland trip being the crescendo, the coda, the high point, and then there's the coda. Yeah, that's right. High point, and then there's the coda. Crescendo. Coda. So after that, the Weird Kitty 07 channel took over, did all the reviews and updates and things, and very few updates. We still, out of habit, call the seasons after season 7 the Kal Kat Show season so. But technically they're not. They're just Kal Kat hanging out and chatting, shooting the shirt, so to speak. So they're not technically the Kal Kat Show. There's been no attempt to revive it. The closest thing they've gotten to is a few reunions, like the Starcrackers one, whatever. They never got together to do Starcrackers reunion. We just couldn't. We literally could not find anybody. And I know Kal Kat and Mark Scars would have done it, but we couldn't find anybody. It could still happen, but probably won't. So yeah, it's probably easier for Kal Kat and his various characters to do more variety stuff of their own in different places and locations. Nothing yet necessarily planned in the works. Other stuff. It is still February, so I don't think there's another toy show in March that I know of. Or it wasn't last year, March. In May, the end of May, it's likely to be Fanime. Again, we always do Fanime, and I think they've moved Silicon Valley Comic Con to October, so it's way off in the future. I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. So, yeah, they must have had some problem casting the people in that one. So, yeah, there's other goofy stuff in there. Some. I think we've done corrections of some of the story stuff, what it was, some of the Kitty Key stuff and that kind of thing. In brief, for those corrections that might be established, during the tenure of the Jung Suan, I went there for 18 years as a martial arts school thing, that they had occasionally had connections with some small and some medium-sized movies, films, and so they had, I mentioned the Three Ninjas and ProSieben Special and stuff like that, and Tay and Kim Show and stuff like that, where we did have cameos in the background on that. Not as the Kal Kat Show, but it's way before that. This is like the 1990s. Interestingly enough, when there was a cameo of sorts of the Reverse, you can't find it anywhere. There was a I believe 1990 had a Korean unity demonstration. George Jung Swan people went out there to 1990, and there was and the whole school was there, making it look like there were 300 people or 300 of us, but that was it. They made it look bigger than that. Like there was the elites. They weren't elite. It was all of us. We all went to this demonstration. With the Grandmaster, and allegedly the President Bush was there, Bush the elder, somewhere, and there was some kind of meeting with the two Korean leaders, presidents. The weird thing is, if you look that up in the history books and the internet, you can't find it. So that means it doesn't exist if there's no Rule 34. But no, it's hard to find it. It's not called that. The event was actually called the President Bush Visits San Francisco. And apparently Grandmaster back in the day was like, I'll just do this too. And promote this ex-president guy that I know from Korea, come over there, South Korea. And I'm going to go over there and we're going to have a demo there in San Francisco, near the hotel. And so they did. But technically, there was. They probably wondered why we were there. The people that went to the park that day, because there is no record of there being other than us, anyone else doing anything, which explains the reaction from some of the students afterward, who were like, and she didn't want to have them mention it, but some of them were like, "What? We didn't actually, yeah." We were there doing a demo. Why did we call it this other thing? It wasn't. It was just a demo. Oh well. It was the beginning of the whole thing. So, so that's that story. The other story is Three Ninjas, in association with Joan Swan and Ernie Ray's Karate or Taekwondo. Ernie Ray's Karate. The two schools got together because they were involved in the movie, and they needed extras. So I was probably like 19, something like that. Oh, they needed extras, and we knew of them, so we had a thing, and we went out, and yeah, so we did. We were extras. The Jung Swan people were extras in the background of that movie, including me. I was there, and yeah. So and they used some of the footage in part 2 was a flashback, but no, it was mainly part 1. But yes, that was fun. Yeah. So you can hear me key upping in the background. So, anyway, yeah. So we had like the uniforms couldn't have our markings on them. They had to be like just white Taekwondo uniforms with the belt. Didn't get to keep the belt. Got to keep the uniform though, and it was put away. And many years later, found the uniform, and it's in the closet, and it's marked. It says if you Adam, and it says what the number is, so that where to stand in the line, which is awesome. Yes. Yeah, there it is, and it's too small, and then the belt was too small. So many years later, Ernie Reyes Jr. was at a convention, toy convention during the Kal Kat show era. And to mention it to him, there was a funny line. I don't know this story again because it's funny. Yeah, and there was a line, and he's like. And this other guy behind me apparently really loved Surf Ninjas. I think he was in it though. Just really loved it. Big, beefy guy, dude. And Surf Ninjas or Ninja Turtles, either one. But not so much Three Ninjas. But Ernie Reyes Jr. recognized me, and it was like, oh yeah, I remember you. You're still in the Jung Swan thing and all that. No, not anymore. I had to stop. Back was all messed up, so it kind of still is. 2007. But I said, keep trying and don't give up and whatever. And wrote it on the. Yeah, he signed the. I said it's kind of highly dubious. Sign this autograph thing anyway because we're famous. He said, no, that's okay. but then he signed the Donatello. His Donatello picture. So because it was funny because we knew of each other from a long time ago, and so. But it'd been years, and I never sparred with him though. So well, but yeah, there was a competition once. Jung Swan did do a competition in I think it's 1990 as well, 1990 or 91, and there was a Taekwondo Federation competition, and at that point, Jung Swan was trying to make its own version of that because we were not in the WTF or in the WOT. We weren't in either of those. So we just did that, and the competition was the only time we went. And there was a guy named Mr. Houston, who did very well, one of the instructors. And I got to spar some dude that was I was a green belt. I got to spar some dude that was a red belt. But these guys behind the scenes were like saying like, "There's a bunch of master belts in here pretending to be." So there was a bunch of master belts pretending to be junior students so they could kick ass. Ew. And one of the Jung Swan guys, I think it was Mr. Lang, said, "Oh, it's okay, we can handle it." and he did. He was one of the fastest ones. He could handle it. Back today, so it was funny. Yeah, it was an interesting sparring thing. Yeah, martial arts story for you. Yeah. ProSieben Special was a commercial for sports, basically sports special. It was a German sports thing. Clips of which appear on Bullshido, oddly enough, years later. That's what that's from. This one guy, Oliver, is like meditating. Some the guy in the background, and yeah, that's what that's from. They pulled most of their videos. They're not doing anything anymore. But I guess the extras are still out there, and I guess they won. But I mean, what's to win? I mean, yeah. Oh well. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm sure all of you wanted to know, what's the big scandal? I don't really have one. I still go by the thing I told Joe years ago in 2016. One of the other students said, it was back problems mainly. I didn't know about the other stuff going on. It was like, yeah, because at the time I didn't. I found out about that other stuff much, much later. And yeah, so, yeah. So it's not very exciting at all. Not really. Oh, yeah. So what else? Yeah. Yeah. I know there were a lot of, let's go into another subject. A lot of stuff was on Starship Locations and how that happened. There was going to be a game, role-play game, Starship Locations. It eventually evolved into doing something after Starship Chimera. Eventually evolved into Strange Worlds, Starship Locations Strange Worlds. And how much involvement is there with other people from the internet, YouTubers? Very little, actually. What's going on there is similar to the old Transformers Mush stories on the other channel. In that, well, with the old Transformers Mush stories, we were using basically 20-year-old Transformer Mush fan fictions, stories, but kind of without permission, rewriting them and putting them on and making a Transformer story out of each one. An actual legitimate, and we succeeded in making a season of roughly 17 one-hour Transformer epics. They're movie quality, well, movies such as it is, Go Motion, Kal Kat movie quality movies out of that, and that was the first season of that. And we did a second season with 17 episodes, and I think the third was Lexicons was 8, I think, something like that. 8 or 9 more. Yeah, something like that. And they were all using fan script, and the Robotech stuff also uses some of the fan scripts we rejected from Lexicons. Put them in the Robotech one; they fit better. So yeah, they're all fan stuff. I know we were saying we wouldn't use anything from somebody named T.L. Ahrens, but we ended up using some of the plot stories of that person as well. But we had to take out all the sex and violence. We took all that out. It's not there anymore. So we're not filming that. We're going to get kicked off YouTube for doing that. So then we have, so these were fan stories. During the pandemic, lockdown, we're really dealing too much with our connections over at the church or the connections over there. So we didn't have too much of that. There tended to be more contact with the various groups than just because everybody was locked indoors and couldn't really go anywhere. So. But there was less contact with the church. So and the characters from STO and stuff. So we didn't know what they were up to. Not until it kind of waned a little bit and got back in contact with them. So far, we are not on Star Trek Online yet. I have a character and an avatar and all that. I'm probably gonna have to do that over, because the ArcSoft stuff that I had on the computer didn't take, because this computer apparently can't handle that kind of thing, or a camera for that matter. So yeah, you kind of have to have that to play the game. Set up and stuff. So that didn't work 2 years ago. So about over a year ago. So yeah, Kal Kat doing an online live blog is kind of impossible currently. So we record these and then post them after. The Robotech thing, what it is. It's fine. So there was a little bit of over exaggeration as to what people were actually involved in some of these. It was mostly like cease and desist or not, or good job or not. They really weren't. There was not a go-between back and forth with the making of all Transformers Mush that it made it sound like there totally was, everybody was in agreement. Some of them were. The other ones just didn't care either way. So there were some that commented, but that's it. They ended up not. They took out the PM thing as of 2021, so you can't go back and look. It's gone. They took it off YouTube. 2020, 2021, they took that off. So we can't communicate with them on YouTube. But yeah, they can write in the comments, I guess. We have we did get responses from well, mainly on the powers one, the Corrosion of War Without End, the Transitions one, and Redemption. And the Lord Commander and Draxus 2-parter. Also, mostly positive, saying this is cool. This is a good adaptation of the stuff we did. Cool. It's 20 years old. 20 years ago. Wow. It's kind of what I would have thought it would look like. Something like that. Or it's not quite what I would have done, but it's interesting and different. So that kind of stuff. But we did something different. We got a different idea for it. With Starship Locations, you have a little bit more connection because you have the story there having a brief connection in 2017 at a convention with David Gerald, who wrote the Trouble with Tribbles and the sequels. One of the sequels was purchased at the convention, and we're going to adapt it as a fan film. Even then, he's all, well, don't do Blood and Fire. We already did that. Phase 2. Well, I wouldn't do that one anyway. The Tribble one, which is, rewrote it, then gave him some credit in the story, as saying that it's rewritten based on a story by David Gerald from Star Trek. So you look at my fan film, wow, there it is. Yeah, and we wrote the, I wrote the treatments and scripts for season 3. They're done, with some consulting from Mark's Cards as well. Yeah, and again, input from a convention from 2022, and we went to the convention, and this time both of us talked to David Gerald, who was there again. And also on the second day, I talked to him about the fire and that kind of thing, and the Tribble thing, and we have a Peppermint Tribble that's going to appear in part 3. So he came up with yet another premise for our fan film. Excellent. So cool. The Peppermint Tribble is involved in at least the pilot. I think he shows up one other time. It's a gag. So this giant Peppermint Tribble with a bluegill inside him, but he's a good guy one this time. It's weird, but sure. Also, the new Star Trek Picard started, and yeah, they are copying the movies again, and they probably are not doing the bluegills again. They're not doing their thing, really. If they do that, that's really bizarre. Because Terry Metalis, he's heard of us, certainly. But I don't know if he's copying us. No, the Lower Decks guy is, but he's not so much. Anyway, so we can't say it's ours. Except for the villain, of course, who is the Elysian. She's the Elysian. She's got to be. It's got to be who she is. Anyways, yeah, ex-girlfriend of not ex-girlfriend of Clark, ex-kid terrorist bad guy of Clark that annoyed him years ago during the time period of Wesley, who was more annoying than Wesley. That's what she's supposed to be. She's she's a contemporary of Wesley, but not Wesley, a contemporary of Wesley. But yes, but yeah, that's not actually who she is, but so yeah, sure, yeah. Did get back with the dude from the church that was in the Trek thing, and it's funny that this season on Picard, the captain of the Titan A is acting a lot like the character he was playing in one of the stories, but it's not him. It's not some other actor. But yes, not much else. It's doing different things going on. Yeah, I don't need to ramble on about other story updates. The channel continues. There's no plans to do a Kal Kat show revival. It exists. You know, we do the conventions, we do the New Year's thing, and we do Halloween too on occasion. But we don't do the Christmas specials because no one wants to see that anymore. However, the irony of ironies last year, late last year, early this year, was that we got full permission from all of the former SAP Productions people to have the Brown Video Productions channel, my late father's channel from that were originally home movies, really, home movie broadcast, put up on an official YouTube channel. Yeah, under the Kitty Cat label. Kitty Cat took it. We took it from Kitty Cat. Yeah, he wasn't using it, so, and we brought it back as Brown Video Productions. So these old family videos from years ago that everybody was kind of unsure about putting up because, you know, ex-husbands and ex-boyfriends might find it. It's like, no, at this point, it's been voted up as this. No, they're not going to care. Stuff's from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, some of it 40 years ago. And it's like, no, nobody's gonna care at all about that. So put it up. Why not? So it's all up, all of it. And yeah, the SAP One Productions on that other channel, so they get to go over there. So ironically, it's the channel that the other SAP people should have started way back in the day when they left our channel. They should have started that one. So it's so there they are. As for the other videos and stuff and 18 plus stuff, you can find it on this one and the other one. And you have to ask permission to see that, but it's harmless. It's PG-13. But yeah, it's yeah. In the end, sure, we're still making videos. We're making lots of videos. There's no reason to. We do it because we want to put up content. Mark's Cards does not have other social media out there. He doesn't have a Twitter account. I don't either. He doesn't have an Instagram or Grindr or Tinder or something. Well, maybe he has that. I don't know. But yeah. But we're basically, yeah, we don't have a lot of subscribers, but we're subscribed to a lot of people. And with over 1,000 videos on the reviews channel too, it would be impossible to download all 1,000 of them. It would break the computer. We tried with 70 of them or so for the Kal Kat thing and almost broke the computer. But yes, we don't need to do. Yeah, we don't need to do that unless they decide to kill YouTube one day. And then we'd have to get them. But actually, we do have the copies. Also, the lost story, the Chris Chandler lost story was found. Chris Chandler story was recovered. We have a copy, but we're not going to post it again. So, also we have the full Channel Awesome Change the Channel debacle, our version, our take on it, which we could release as a retrospective of our take on that. But probably won't because it's still there. Yeah, and what that was well, Channel Awesome's still around, and so is Change the Channel. They're both still around, and a lot of people caught on the bandwagon and wanted to get popular through the Change the Channel thing. They kept sharing videos back and forth that they didn't have permission to do. And there was one who named himself after a Spider-Man villain so that he could get his hits on his channel because the Spider-Man villain movie came out. And yeah, he used a Kal Kat video in there, and I didn't give him permission. So I'm gonna cease and desist. Take that down. Take my video out of there. I'm not associated with Channel Awesome. I was just commenting on it. And he didn't believe me, but he took it down. He reposted it as saying, "Oh, I had to change the music." Oh, I was like, "No, that wasn't the music. I wasn't the only one. A bunch of people went in there. I think even Obscurus Lupus complained. Lindsay Ellis complained. So he got a lot of people complaining, saying, "You can't use my video without permission." Make a little documentary drama there. Yeah, just a lot of other people complained. And the question remains then, if there's still some weird connection with Channel Awesome, Kal Kat show, behind the scenes. Not directly. No. Not directly. Not, except for Fanime 2017, where there was a crossover between Channel Awesome and us. Because I was at Fanime 2017. That was what it was. I was there. Basically, I was a guest in the audience at all of his panels. And some people thought that I was in the know because I was a guest at the panels, like they were. There was even an obsessed fan that went to him afterward. It was like, oh, and then the Channel Awesome guys came after me after the panel, and they're like, "Oh, that guy stalked us." Ah, it's like, I don't know him, but if I see him again, I'll mention he probably shouldn't have done that. And I did. I saw the stalker guy again. I was like, "You shouldn't have done that. I didn't tell you to go and harass him." "Oh, I'm sorry." Oh. I wasn't mad about it. I just said, he was kind of out there, spacey kind of. It was like, yeah, I don't have to. Yeah. but yeah. Now there were a few suggestions that we made to the show in 2017 through just before the debacle that they took those suggestions and they used them. So they made episodes that were then made us look like we even knew them somehow. They took our suggestions. They took our suggestions because they were cool, not because we were in the know. They thought, yeah. Why don't you do a review of Reboot? We'll do a review of Reboot. Why don't you do a review of, this other thing? We'll do that too. The horror cartoons thing. I think that was a Mark's Cards idea. But I suggested the Courage of the Cowardly Dog episode with the messed up cat who was in a horrible relationship with her husband. I said, "Oh yeah, this would be perfect for your messed up cartoons thing, Doug Walker, because it's really screwed up. You got to watch this episode. You got to watch it. It's really messed up." So he did. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this one," because it was wow. This episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog with this cat that's husband is evil. It's really, really, really screwed up. Oh, that one's dark. Wow. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that one was really dark. So, and then some of the X ones we have more contact with the Lindsay Ellis channel. That one done some back and forth with that ex students. In that she would make a video about like werewolf people or something complaining about her, and then I would do one that says like, "What was that werewolf lady complaining about?" I don't get it. Something like that. Silly stuff. Not a problem. Didn't know her, but she was from the LA area. And then come to Phelan Porteous, who toward the end of the pandemic, we got to the pandemic ended and he had to go to the mall. And there was a mall store in there, and I found this wrestling. I was looking for the Galaxy Hole. I wanted to find his Galaxy Warriors Galaxy Hole thing again, and tell him about it. And I found this hilarious X-Force wrestling thing, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta tell this guy about this. Can't go. He's got to do a review of these characters. Got to buy them. Because he's got to do a review. Like, I'm going to do a review, and they can do it." And I told him about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that." So a couple of weeks later, he put up his own review of the same figures, and he said, "Guy in the U.S. pointed this out to me." He said, "Yeah," and I had to do it because this is hilarious. Yeah. Shout out to the Kal Kat review or whatever. Yeah, he's always commenting on my stuff with good ideas and stuff. Like making longer versions of the little sketches you do at the end and stuff. Yeah, making like a funny one. He actually did one of those. He did did a longer version of there was a Ghostbusters spoof for April Fool's Day and another one though. But yeah, and then there's MGO, the freaking geek, the MGO 316 as well. I don't know him either, but yeah, he did help with the transforming the Transformers. Yeah, could not transform the Combiner Wars Devastator. Go back and look at his old videos. Yeah, so there's lots of stuff out there. We did not save Dubtastic. For asking about that, no, we didn't. But he has actually recreated some of his channels on YouTube through some of his sycophants. They have put up some of his older videos off of his, I believe, his Venmo page or something like that. Vimo or video. So they put up some of his stuff. And one of the last Clarissa Explains It Alls had that Jory Karen a-hole guy on it. And then that was the last time he appeared on there. I just want that guy on there. Anyway, so his competition. Not Dubtastic. I shouldn't do those videos anymore. I think they got busted for using, because their spoof song wasn't different enough from Clarissa Explains It All. So they're like, yeah, so they kind of got in trouble. Channel us and stop that. Yeah. Yeah, so, I was watching Gray Still Plays, and, that kind of stuff. So, don't really know him too much, but some of his stuff, Sim stuff was funny. A lot of his stuff is funny. Blows up the world with the Sandbox, Universe Sandbox. He does mainly playthroughs of funky GTA boards now. So. I don't really have out there, but yeah. The latest thing that was done though with the Star Trek Chimera season 3 is we went to the Jesse Gender site and the Steve Shive site and some of the other Trekkie sites and watched some of their videos. Didn't actually ask them, but watched some of their videos on what they think would be good Star Trek, because there was like good Star Trek. So they weren't in the writer's room when we came up with the third season episodes, but I thought about, discussed with Mark Cards, what some of them said for good ideas for Star Trek episodes. So the 8 or so episodes for season 3 are literally inspired by the fans on the internet. So that's awesome to do things that were inspired. Including there's going to be the Mob Planet story, which was inspired by the Quentin Tarantino script treatment, which wasn't a script treatment. I read the paragraph-long treatment of Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek 14, which is literally a paragraph. It's not much. That's all that's out there. And took that and made an episode based on what that was. Pulp Fiction, go to the Mob Planet, modern Star Trek. Go visit the planet of the mob people. See what they're doing now. Now that it's over 100 years later, according to the story, it would be no longer the 1920s. It would be the 2020s on the planet. So there you go. There's your story. There's your hook. It's not time travel. There's your story. Yeah. So. And also having gone back to my old alma mater from high school, Pine Hill, visited it. It's now a weird little athletic center with a ninja school for the kids and stuff, weird things like that. That during the tail end, it was after the pandemic. It was like 6 months ago. And so I said, no, there's going to be an episode of this season 3 where we build a Pine Hill set and have the Star Trek characters go visit the school where Silly Trek became Star Trek locations. Of course they've got to do that, but in the pilot they've got to go to Evergreen. So they go to Evergreen first. The college, and San Jose State at the end. So they do that. I don't know how we're going to film it. I have no idea how we're going to film that. Obviously cardboard models. But yeah. Anyway, so I guess I'm done doing a little update here that's gone on way too long. And the only claim to fame is that. 1,000 videos though. So the thing is, like, even though I don't have a lot of subscribers, and I should get more, many more. You have to have thousands of subscribers to even be noticed. But I have a lot of videos. Kal Kat videos. I don't have a lot of subscribers. So when I go to something like the Adam Savage Con or the Freddie, I go to the Fanime or the big, the toy show, Super Toy Show or something. They know that's the Kal Kat Show guy because they've seen one of thousands of videos out there. And they know. They figure, well, he probably is big. We just haven't checked to see how many subscribers he has. He's got 1,000 videos or more. My goodness, he must be something. They totally could ask, and they would say, like, how many subscribers? I'd say, not very many, actually. There's no more. They think it's being humble, which it kind of is. But I literally could use more subscribers because I don't have very many. Part of what happened there was 2 purges of all subscribers way back in the day. There was the Copra one in, I think, 2018, but there was a previous one before that. There were multiple hundreds of subscribers at one point, but now they're gone. I don't know where they went. So yeah. So when you're not monetized and you do that, the channel is going to go down. You're not going to have any subscribers. But yes, yeah. Yeah, we're not making any money on YouTube. No, not really. But I did talk recently to, a couple of weeks ago, to Brian Story, the Kirk God from Chimera. And actually, one of the episodes is inspired by something he talked about. So there's an episode in there. So the Kirk God guy got to be inspire an episode. Also, the Trek Corps went under. So that was a mention in an already in the story. And the Trek Corps people, the Sheila V is the only one that Prometheus. They invited me over to the Trek Continues, their newer site. It's more like a BBS, Bulletin Board Tournament. So they are in an episode as well. They did one too. So in Chimera season 3, so there's all kind of stuff going on. I think they did I think they were involved in the one about was it Flodai or something? They go to Flodai. I think it was that one. Might have been the other one. Might have been the one where they had the Key-Draconis. Might have been the Key-Draconis planet. Because I know that the TMS, the Martial Sportius people, do return a couple times. They're in the finale. Because they kind of have to be. And yeah, so but yes, yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on in season 3, but you won't see until the Robotech thing is done. So we're gonna do the Robotech thing first. The Robotech 3-parter of Clint Cowpoke. He's producing it. He's writing. Silly Kelly will step in. He'll step in for the last 2, I think. The last 2. Yeah, the Flodai and Earth one. You're gonna do the last 2. Cowpoke will do the other ones. But no, for the Robotech one, no, he's gonna do the Cowpoke. Which is weird because they're all me, but don't worry. March Cards isn't though. Yeah. Spa. Anyway, that's it.